That's a scary board, pun intended. For you guys with little time, there is a too long didn't watch version of the deck tag I'm having right now. At the end of the deck tag, there will also be a timestamp in the video description. Greetings, freaks and folks, this is Vlad the Lad, and you're very welcome to leave a sub for ongoing Legends of Runeterra content. As today's video, we are going to play a deck that I built some time ago. It was even before the last release, the Guardians of the Ancients. I wanted to make the Shurima Fearsome archetype work. And I think there are two main ways to build Fearsome decks, from what I experienced yet. The one would be to go with the Midrange and their package. Like you go with Midrange and the Risen Mists and the Ravecaller. I had this for quite some time, and most recently, like some days ago, I tweaked it out completely because I've really felt bad at a point that I missed Allegiance so much with the Ravecaller, because I ended up with, I think, 8 cards from Shurima, because they have really neat tools for Fearsome, for the Fearsome archetype. And so Ravecaller is a liability there, and I ended up cutting one out, and then it felt even worse, and then I had none. I only had Risen Mists and Mist Raves, and at that point it doesn't really make sense to run this. I think if you want to run Mist Raves, you need to run the full package, all 3 cards, and also reliably hitting the Allegiance with the Ravecaller, and we can't really do that. Although you can, like, Scrying Sands and then predict something from the Shadow Isles, and then you play the Ravecaller. This is a synergy I told you in another video. But you don't want to play this proactively, is the problem. You want to do this on open attack and burst speed, reduce the attack of something, and then reducing their attack below the Fearsome, which would be 2 or less, right? Or below 3. Yeah, so I already started with the deck tech right here with the Fearsome deck. Like, this is one of the key cards where we, like I said, predict first some key cards that we need, and also we can reduce attack to not be blocked by any units that have 4 or 3 attack. We can lower their attack, or even, you know, 5 doesn't work. Like 3 and 4 attack, you play this on them, and they get reduced to 2 or 1, and they can block into our Fearsome units, which are mainly the whole deck. So we start off with the Apokalytischen Reaper, which is a really solid unit as a 4/1 drop. It has Fearsome keyword and 1/2 stat line. Is already really solid, and if we slay something, we get another attack on him. So really neat tool in this list. For slaying, we don't have that much in the deck per se. We have the Glimpse Beyond to sacrifice something from our board and potentially pump them up for 1 attack. But other than that, we don't really have, like, Atrocity if you take that into account, but you want to have that as a finisher, right? Other than that, we will slay a lot through these 3 bad IS guys, which is, first of all, the Merciless Hunter is, the most OP 3-drop in the game, I think. It has the 4/3 attack, or 4/3 body, for 3 mana is already really good. Has Fearsome, and you grant something vulnerable. Alongside the Apokalytischen Reaper, which is also granting vulnerable and -1 attacks, so we can also potentially take out any 3 attack unit as a Fearsome blocker, right? This is, I think, the only unit that doesn't have Fearsome from the get-go. I had something to grant, or to give Fearsome later on the line, but I cut that out. But this is basically to, you know, slay something and take out big threats where we, granting something vulnerable and -1 attack to potentially kill it off, as well as the Nocturne, which is, one of our champions of choice. It is our Fearsome dude. If we manage to level him up, our Bakai Sandsplander will also have Fearsome. But we don't really have the means to do this. We only have the Stygian Onlooker as a Nightfall unit to attack with. So we need to put on multiple attacks with Nocturne and the Stygian Onlooker, and this is most of the time really hard to pull off. But it is possible. I did it in some games. Yeah, and like I said, it also has this like almost the same effect, but it gives vulnerable, doesn't grant. Oh yeah, never mind. It grants vulnerable, but it gives the -1 attack. But to the whole board, not only to one unit. This is the difference between these two, right? But you have to activate Nightfall beforehand, which can be sometimes hard to do. As a proactive play to enable Nightfall, we have the Stalking Shadows as a 2-off. This can lead to some really neat things like putting out the Stygian Onlooker. This is mostly the best case scenario where we have 2 1-mana 4/1 bodies with Fearsome. This is strict up, yeah, insane value. What else do we have? We have the Frenzy Skitterer as a potential other spider together with the Arachnoid Horror and the Elise to potentially even level up the Elise and get a thicker body and also give Challenger to all the spiders we have. We have the means to produce spiderlings with the Elise, obviously, and also, like I said, Arachnoid Horror and Frenzy Skitterer can lead to an Elise level up. And Elise is just another fearsome unit on our board that gives that gives us a really early attack and also a free body to block with, or because blocking is something that we lack a bit in this deck. But we can block also if we have the need to in case of emergency, because we have the 2-off of Harrowing where we can get back our whole board. And this goes really well together with this, I think possibly the star of the deck today, which is RAZ Bloodmane. And I have him as a full set even, because this is, like, I think the biggest fearsome enabler, as he gives enemies -2 attack, all of them upon attack. He has fearsome himself and is a really thick 6/6 body. So in case we have him died in the game, we can then Harrowing and bring him back and attack and giving enemies, all of them, -2 attack and potentially have a full board of fearsome units, which is really, really neat. Then we have a full set of Spirit Fire, which is holding this deck together most of the time. A full set because we can use it defensively, but most importantly, we can use it offensively because it also allows us to attack off the whole board. And if we manage to pull out the RAZ potentially on their attack turn, and then we open attack together with Spirit Fire, reduce everything by 4 attack. And this denies almost all the blockers there are, to an extent where they drop below 3 attack. And this is really, really powerful, and I think the finisher that most of the people don't expect of this deck. I will say though, this is no very good deck. I didn't have too good of win rates because of all the aggro decks that are running around, and we can't really deal with that. We can't keep up with the pace. So if you want to have a more competitive version of this, you potentially run more of the early game fearsome units that I cut it out. You maybe want to, like I said, run the Mistrave package where you have an early play, and yeah, and also the Rave Caller, right? It gives you 2 bodies to block with. This is way more reliable against aggro. But I wanted to go with the RAZ and RHASA package because I think they're pretty neat concepts, both of them. RHASA is a long forgotten unit. I have it as a 1-off here, and you should cut it out if you want to have a more competitive version. But it is another fearsome unit, right? And it's something nobody plays around, and I love those cards where nobody plays around and they forget about it, and it can have a really, really neat impact, where it kills the 2 weakest enemies if an ally died this round. And we can even use things like this Crying Sands to reduce something's attack to be then the weakest, and then die off of our RASA. This is a very rare scenario, but it is possible though to pull off and to consider in this list. Yeah, and that's probably the whole deck idea there is. If you have any questions, you can also leave them in the comments down below, and we will jump into the Too Long Didn't Watch. So hello there, you lovely lads with little time. This is a full-on fearsome list as we go for things like Elise and Nocturne, which have fearsome themselves naturally. almost the whole deck is Fearsome units, Arachnoid Horror. We have Fancied Skewer to reduce attack, buff our spiders, and have as a Fearsome himself. We have Merciless Hunter, which is a phenomenal 3-drop in this list. We have RAZ as a key card to reduce everything's attack by 2 when we attack, has Fearsome itself. We can also combo this with Spirit Fire, where we reduce 2 attack of everything. So we mainly want to shut down the attack of the enemy and then not get blocked with our Fearsome units. And as a finisher, we have the Hero Ring and the means to pull out that. And if you want to know all the cards and what they do and why they are in this list, you can always skip back. And we will not skip back, we will go forward to our first game and see how we're doing. Let's go. Okay. What the hell is this? Elites with Lucian and Targon. This looks interesting. RAZ is definitely too early. I want to keep the Stalking Shadows and the Arachnoid Horror. I think I even want to play the Sigil Onlogger turn 1. Just to have a... or do I? I don't know. Okay, no I don't.
Follow the horizon.
So we just Horror here. This is a really neat card. Potentially get a favorable trade.
Don't get in my way.
So we get a free attack here. The end rounds. This could be potential kill for Lucian.
What's the plan?
We shoot them.
Okay. I'm waiting for the attack. Just to kill off the Lucian. I'm very glad he has this order. Oh, he doesn't get the double attack for Senna. And what are we duplicating here? I think the Sand Spinner is the right thing to do. Because this is another synergy I didn't talk about. Predicting and Stalking Shadows. So we put this on top. Lucian! And then we draw it right away. Boom. I could even go for the Sigil Onlogger there, but I think this is better to not run out of steam here. We do this first. I love it. Okay, so he doesn't have any way to protect it. And we can just do this. Oh fuck, oh no. It's alright, I just thought I played the non-ephemeral one, but I don't have an ephemeral Onlogger. So we do this, and this I think is the play. Because I don't want him to block with the... or block my Merciless Hunter.
How you doing?
We'll get a trade like this. As we end up with 6 mana, so not quite enough for Spirit Fire. But we can play the Bakai Sand Spinner here. Okay. So we will actually lower the attack of this. So this gets out of range from killing our Merciless Hunter. And we have a blocker for the Great Companion. So this is the play. This is a very bad attack, you shouldn't do that. Like, why would you trade this? Weird play. I will start with this, because this opens up the Bakai Sand Spinner or another Sigil Onlogger.
We fight for those who cannot.
Okay. I guess he didn't count the cards and looked where I have my cards. Or what I pulled off with the Stalking Shadows. So we do this. I could even kill off the loaded Badgerbeer, but I don't think I want to. I'll just push damage here. Kill off the Garen, very nice. We look into a potential Spirit Fire here, plus Arachnoid Horror. And this is the play, I think, because it kills off the Senna. Scare me. I could even decide to not... I'm not quite sure. Because Spirit Fire could be better later on the line. I think I want to just draw now. If he single combats, we have a second Glimpse Beyond. Yep. So we got one single combat out of him, which is really good. Okay, we got 2 single combats out of him, which is even better. But we don't get to draw. That's a problem for sure. Would love to see a RASA here. Not quite a RASA. RAZ, I mean. RAZ? Yes! Oh, we get RASA and RAZ. Ooh, foo. Now that's a tough choice. But I think RAZ is better overall. Because we could potentially drag this in and kill off his board, right? But I just love RAZ.
We'll kick the sand out of 'em!
Plus we get to play the Stygian Onlooker. And even look at lethal here, I think. If he doesn't have the means to have proper blockers. Concerted Strike. Oh, Cataclysm, okay. Interesting. So does he have another, is the question. But he just kills off another Runeterra, right? It's not too big of a deal. So this Onlooker is just too much value. And potentially yet again lethal. He even has a second Cataclysm, okay. So because we're not, I don't know. I mean this dies to Spirit Fire, right? I don't need to pull this in. I will just push damage here. Have him down to 1. He's down to 1 card. And we have this Crying Sands. Yeah, and we get him. Boom. Really nice. So I think mid-range decks is the thing we can feast on because of all the damage reduction we have in the deck. So really clutch game there. Nice game one. Let's go for round 2. Alright. We have some... what's it called? The Proscal Thralls. So we actually need speed. And we don't quite have that. I think I want to mulligan the Blackheart Sandsplinter because we could kill off the Lysandra, but she doesn't have the means to block into Fearsomes anyways, so this is just a waste of time, I think. I will just go with this. Frenzied Skirrer is always nice in a Fearsome list. And we have a turn 1 and even turn 2 play now. Unfortunately for us, they tend to run a lot of Avalanche and stuff, which can hurt a lot. So I think I want to develop the Horror. Play on curve and force out his answers. Because multiple avalanches is mostly not what happens. Okay, so we got it out right away, so this was definitely the right play to do. And we can now Merciless Hunter. We don't grant vulnerable, but I mean, a 3-mana 4/3 Fearsome is well enough. Definitely. If I can have a Stygian Onlooker, this would be awesome. Ooh. But even a Runeterra could be neat. No, Stygian Onlooker is just too good here. You could have another Avalanche, but or the 3-mana spell, right? But that's about it. Okay. So this is really neat, because he doesn't get to block the non-ephemeral run. I even want to attack with this as well, just to get the proc for Nocturne. Because he will definitely log into the Merciless Hunter. Everything else would be stupid. We could have waited out, but like I said, this is a race. He has his first Frozen Fall down. So we need to apply pressure here. He passes. What are we doing here? It's a bit bricked. I think I want to do this. If he plays his 5 cost, the... what's it called? Okay, he just plays another Blighted Ravine. That's fine as well. Huh. Yeah, I have to play this. I have no other play.
These old eyes still see
Okay.
clear.
Does he have any buffs? I don't think so. So it should be 5 face damage. Yep. Okay. Double sentry. I could ping ping away one of them, but I don't think I want to. This is really scary. You might even need to atrocity his big dude, the 4/5. I don't care about this. But I will go for the RAZ here.
3 heads and 1 stomach means a lot.
What have eaten? I don't think he can put this to 0 as of now. Yet he can. With a clockling and a double clockling or the predict 2 mana burst speed or focus speed spell. But we look into a very good open attack with Spirit Fire and or like without Spirit Fire even. He doesn't have the means to block this. I could be greedy here and play more of them, but he could have an 8-drop and I don't want to have that. So we will go with this. No one is safe. Freezes. To be expected. But we get another 5 damage in. Unfortunately, we don't have the means to go with any buff on our units. He has maybe the 8, yeah, clock hand. So he has a lot of units now. Big units. Question is, do I play this? Man, I'm actually 1 damage off lethal. Because I can atrocity into Nocturne's Unspeakable Horror, his face. Fuck. Yeah, I need to develop a blocker for now. He gets out this. I want to make use of my mana. So I will go with this. Moonlight Affliction, okay. This could be really clutch, actually. We just need to survive the next round. Okay. We have the Harrowing, okay. Now this changes things drastically. Because this means I can... I don't think they have Ruination. They don't run this in this deck. So I will just block with everything here. And then we play Spirit Fire. I think this looks good. Could even reduce 2 more damage here. I think that's is it worth it? I potentially need this to lower more attack next round. So we get to kill off one of the Frostguard Thralls, which is really neat. Preserve a lot of health. So either we win next round or we don't, I think is the way to go here. Okay, let's do this. It's a scary board, pun intended. We even lower upon summon his attack. So we get even the attack of the Frostguard Thrall down to an extent where he can't block with it. He's in a really big pickle now. If he doesn't have Ruination, we win, basically. I think his hand is full of neat cards, but... Okay. I don't think this quite does the trick, though. We do this. We predict a... Doesn't really matter. I think RAZ would be neat, right? In case something really crazy happens. I don't think it will. I don't know his voice line, sorry, I don't play Nocturne too often. But I love this level up animation. Yep. Not really a way to stop this. And we knock him out. No one is safe. Would be the line of Nocturne, I think, if he would be still alive. Oof, pretty neat game. I think I want to do one more. Let's go. Okay, this is this could potentially be the deck with concurrent timelines and Twisted Fate with all this damage-based removal. This, by the way, a really neat deck. If you haven't checked it out, check it up here. It's a bit old video, but was before the Guardians of the Ancient patch. But it is a really, really nice deck if it comes to a point where damage-based removal is strong again. And I climbed quite a bit with it. Yeah, but promotion over. Advertisement. I will develop or mulligan the Atrocity. I will keep the rest. Because this is a really neat curve. I think in this matchup I want a Stygian Onlooker on curve. Could even go Bakai Reaper. But if we have the attack token on 1, I really love the Stygian Onlooker to just progress Nocturne. Why parlay main deck? What the hell? Okay. That's really weird. Like without Gangplank, playing parlay? Doesn't really make sense to me.
I pull the strings.
Yep. There is no real answer to Elise with 2 mana. What are you doing here? I want to get the vulnerable value, I think. But then again, what could he have to block this with? Could have the Petty Officer. So I won't play into Petty Officer. We'll just open attack here. Thinks about removing this, which is really good for me. Because I don't rely on Elise. Okay, so he burns 2 mana here. Really happy about this. Okay. Guess he wants red card value. I mean, if he red cards, I don't mind this Merciless Hunter here.
Gonna make a meal of 'em.
We have the Harrowing to get back all of our units, so he needs to do something about my board here.
I'm always up for a round or two.
Okay, even gold cards. And because he has no more AoE now... Okay. Another Polymaniac. Sure, dude. Because he doesn't have... He has Twist Fate developed, we can develop even more, because I don't think he has more AoE effects. I'll just go with this. Okay. But we are very wide on board, and we get to remove DTF. I think you should always block the Nocturne, but you don't.
What's your wager?
I think he's scared of more Bakai Reaper buffs. We have him down to 8 already. This deck, or this reaching combination, doesn't have heal, I think. So we are still in a pretty good spot. Keep another Twisted Fate gold card here. On the Nocturne. Okay, or he just draws. I don't have to do anything, I have almost lethal on board. Still passing. I have my fearsome units here. Okay, he just surrenders. I thought about removing his board with the Spirit Fire. Now we feast. Okay, pretty neat series. So I guess if you're in low masters and people don't play really Azir, this is a pretty viable deck. So try it out yourselves if you are hooked now. If you are scared, you shouldn't. Haha. That's basically all there is to this deck and this video. I will say from now going onwards, I am out of my quarantine. Fortunately, I don't have COVID. I can, if you are concerned about that, I can calm you in that regard. So I will go to work, back to work tomorrow onwards, and I don't have the means to put out decks or videos every 2 days like I did in the past, or even every days where I was 3 days in a row videos. So this won't be possible in the foreseeable future, but I will go with the ongoing continuous content at least once on the weekends, and potentially if I find the time during the week as well. So if you are still up for that, you are very welcome to support me with all this stuff, comments, likes, and whatever you can bring up. And that's all there is I have for you today. Thank you guys very much for everything that you're doing for this channel. It means a lot to me. It really does. And I'll see you yeah, probably on the latest would be on the next weekend. So until then, you stay legendary. Vlad out.